friends, it's Christine from Hollis Create. How is everybody today? Today is Sunday, July 23rd. This is Flosstube number 49. If you are returning and joining me for another video, thank you so much for coming back and hanging with me. If you've wandered into this channel by accident, I hope that you maybe stay and visit with me just a little bit and find something that you're inspired by. Thank you so much for all the kind comments on my last videos. I truly appreciate it. It's fun to go back and to read them all. Let's see. Today, it's been about a month since I've done my last video. I was going to try to do one last weekend to try to keep on every 3 weeks, and it just didn't happen. So today's kind of a quiet day. Chris is out at a toy show, and so I thought, you know what, it's quiet in the house and I've got some time, and I'm gonna do a video real quick. So I've just got some whips and some things to show. I'm gonna share some of the old samplers that Chris brought back for me from Pennsylvania, and we'll give away the two giveaway gifts that I had from last video, and maybe just chat a little bit. Okay, so what's been going on? Well, no more painting. It's been 1 month without any painting, and I'm absolutely thrilled. But we were determined to go through every box that we have, and we could tell by which move by the moving box and the moving box company. So we knew we had some boxes that were from about 2012 when we transferred from Pennsylvania to Minnesota, and those boxes still had not ever been cracked open because I guess when we got to Minnesota, then 3 months after Adam and I joined Chris there, they told him they were transferring him to Kansas City. So, you know, we didn't even unpack half the stuff there. So we get to Kansas City. We're here for 3 years. We did get a lot of things unpacked in Kansas City the first go round, but not everything. And part of that was because we had bought a house that had an unfinished basement, and we had hoped to finish the basement. We had it it was all framed out, and he was starting to hang drywall when we got transferred again to Texas. So, and then Texas to here, and then the first house here, this is second house here. So we've had a lot of moves, a lot of different boxes, a lot of different moving companies. But I'm proud to say that we literally have gotten through every single box. A lot of those boxes are things that belong to my kids, especially Brittany, since she lives in Europe. And we at least eyeballed everything, sent pictures. Do you want this? Do you not want this? Kind of weeded out some things, and then things that we closed back up, we wrote contents and then the date. So everything is marked like 7 of 23, so that at least we are aware that the last time everything in the box was verified, was just recently. So that's good news. I'm thrilled about that. I'm sorry. And I'll talk about this. I've really been dragging. I had to have some allergy testing done because I've just been having ongoing sinus issues, congestion. One ear has been impacted, and I have continual ringing in my ears as well. So I've been, to the regular doctor, to ENT, I've had head CTs. The ENT sent me to my current allergy doctor, and I really like him. He did a full panel of allergy testing, including food. Last time I had it done, they just did environmental things, so mostly outdoors, like grasses or animals, trees, things like that. And I'm allergic to a whole host of those things, but Dr. Agarwal included foods as well. And it turns out I actually have a mild allergy to eggs. Did not know that. I know that I'm allergic to coconut oil, date and palm family, things like that, but no idea about the eggs. So there's a good possibility that because I have been eating eggs, that mild allergy has caused this major sinus buildup in my head, so that I am consistently congested and have sinus headaches quite frequently, things like that. So started allergy shots, but along with that means I have to have these daily antihistamines, and I am dragging. I mean, they really make me sleepy. So it's been quite a process, and I go once a week, get a shot in each arm, and but you know, hopefully this works and I can get through all this. What other kind of fun? I apologize. I may kind of yawn a little bit throughout this, because it really just kind of kicks me for about a couple of hours after I take my meds. And so I tried to wait a little bit to do this video, but my husband will be home soon, so I didn't want to wait too long. So what other kind of fun? Well, you remember the story of the raccoons. Well, we got the trap. We did catch and relocate 4 raccoons. I've included some pictures at the beginning of this video of the raccoons that we trapped and relocated. We do know that there were at least 3 more. There were several nights that, because there were some babies, that they were able to get their paws into the side of the trap, and because my husband was using fish, they were able to like scratch it with their really long claws into little pieces and get it out without having to go into the trap, little stinkers. But then he said, okay, I'm gonna use a whole apple. And so he put an apple in there so they couldn't pull that apart and get it out. And we did end up trapping 2 more. But we're pretty sure we still have another raccoon or 2, but they're now not showing up every night. We saw evidence of one, like maybe Tuesday this week, but looks they're not digging anything anymore. Everything's been really cleaned up, locked up. And there's just nothing out there. I've moved all bird seed. Everything's been, you know, kind of sanitized, so to speak, for them. So hopefully they've moved on. We do have the trap still out there, so that if we need to bait it and set it and see what we can do. But I am determined that now I've decided I'm going to have to stitch Raccoon Rabble by Plum Street, and then frame it and put it out there by the windows out onto the deck as a little remembrance of our fun with the raccoons. So let's see what else we got going. Countdown to the grandbabies is on. We've been doing a lot of FaceTiming. We've ordered another pack and play to go with the crib. We've, you know, getting everything ready, but I keep looking around the house and there's just a ton of things that are not baby safe yet. So we're still kind of working on that as we go to get ready for Alaska and Diana. Other than that, let's dive right into stitching, shall we? So as you know, this summer I had quite a few stitch-alongs, and I'm gonna start with those. My first one, which I had, my last Flosstube I had done midweek because I wanted to announce, you know, that it was starting on the first day of summer. And that was the Paula Vaughn stitch along. And that one was Summer Stitching Paula Vaughn, hashtag Summer Stitching Paula Vaughn. And this was the design that I chose, Forgotten Basket. And let me see, maybe should I put that up a little bit closer so you can see? It's just a lovely little summer design. And here's my progress. Now, I've only given her about 5 days. And here's my progress. And I did not iron, I apologize. You know what, I'm gonna get my board. Otherwise it's gonna be flopping around. There we go. And there's my progress. And I'm stitching this on 40 count Thornfield by Needle and Flax. And I think it's going to give it a really lovely vintage look. And I will say there have been a lot of you who are joining, and I'm thrilled about that. But if you're stitching, if you pulled your Paula Vaughn out and you're stitching, how long did it take you to realize that you don't like confetti stitching? I absolutely love the look of her designs, but I was like, oh my gosh, I was threading up like 5 and 6 needles at a time and just setting them in there and grabbing, because you'd have to do, 2 or 3, then 2 or 3, and then 2 or 3 stitches, and then 5 stitches, and it's, it's crazy, absolutely crazy. But the result is so beautiful that, it just definitely makes you want to keep going. So anyway, so that was my Paula Vaughn, summer stitching Paula Vaughn with Merritt Crawford. And she's the one who requested that or asked that I join her in her SAL for Paula Vaughn, because she knows I love Paula Vaughn, and I was thrilled to do so. So be sure to check out her videos as well. Okay, so last time, that started on June 21st. And then I was set, I'd already started on Memorial Day my New World sampler. And in between those two, I had said that I was going to pull out my Coming to America and do some work on that, because clearly my flower ship has yet to make it. And so I wanted to do some more work, and I did. I pulled this one out and worked on it for 4 days. And let me show you this was from the Coming to America kit from Brenda Gervais. There we go. So I filled the sails in. I put this bird in the middle of the sail. I then came down here, put in the words Cape Cod, and started filling in this little band that will go across here. And then right below that is that first little scene with the 2 ladies who have like a stitching hoop and some scissors. So I'm definitely going to stitch those ladies here. And then I've got to decide, because that's also where you have the little feather design and the year 1620. So I'll definitely put that in. And then I think I probably will skip down to the words, "We are living in the tomorrow for which they wrought 2020. And Plymouth. And it's another little band that matches this one, but says Plymouth. And so that's the work I did on Coming to America. So mine's a slow boat, but there it is. I love it. Okay. And that kind of broke up some of the work between the 2 SALs that I've been working on, just because I needed a little break, and found it there. So then I went back to my New World sampler. Here's the New World sampler from Paulette of Plum Street Samplers. As you know, she designs the Rhode Island inspired style samplers in historical themes. You can see the first 3 that she designed that I have stitched on the mantle behind me here. So this is the Heritage Sampler, the Equality Sampler, and a New Constellation. And then this is the latest, which is the New World Sampler. Again, focusing on the Mayflower. Can you see that? Maybe I should put that up a little closer. I don't want it to get out of focus. But there's that one. And here is my progress. And again, I did not iron. Sorry about that. So I'm stitching on 40 count light exemplar. And you can kind of see I am to this part where this is all fill in with this bluish green. It's Dublin Bay from Classic Colorworks. So I'm doing a little bit of fill in, then I go over and I'm doing motif and do a little bit of fill in. I do, down in this bottom section, I do still have to put the words in here. I did the date, which is all over one, but I do still have to put in the words. Mayflower Compact is the two words. So I'll bounce back down probably and you know, do some of that since it's all over one stitching. But you know, from where I am, you can kind of see I'm making good progress because I'm through up to the turkey here on this side. So it's just that little bit to do up here. And I'm through this pumpkin, and this is a flower here. And then I'm you know, starting on this band right here. So then I just have the flowers just above, which are inspired by the Laura Standish sampler, and then across the top. So the nice thing about this one, there's no proclamation or paragraph of over one stitching to do, just some, you know, some words up here. This says Plymouth Harbor. Then you just have the Mayflower Compact November 11. Yeah, it just says November 11, doesn't have the year because the year is down here, but the year is not at over one. And that's, you know, oh, over here you do it above the turkey, it says Wampanoag. Well, she ran out of space and had to put the OAG underneath the PAN of Wampanoag for the Indians. But so there's not much of the over one lettering to do like there are, you know, in the others where you've got the full paragraphs or the proclamations. So I'm definitely getting there. I'm feeling good that I'm almost getting ready to start the Laura Standish flowers. So anyway, one last look. And again, I'm stitching 40 count light exemplar with all the called for colors. I'm really enjoying it. It's going to be very pretty. And this is the same linen that I used for the Equality sampler. You can see that this one is a little more tan, similar to this. And these two, I used Lakeside Linen Chantilly Cream. So, and then, so those two match. All right. Trying to be really organized here. So then, as I have been working on that, when I finished those white houses, I was like, whoosh, okay, that was a lot of white stitching. And I just needed something else to kind of, I don't know, and I wasn't prepared to go back to some more confetti stitching yet with the Paula Vaughn. So I opened up my storage bin and thought, I've got to surely have something small that's a whip that I could, you know, finish up. And I did. I had In Full Glory. This is my working copy by Blackbird Designs. This is in the Souvenirs of Summer book, I believe. I think it's Souvenirs of Summer. I'm pretty sure it's not in Sweet Land of Liberty. But one of those two books. It was originally a Reward of Merit pin key, In Full Glory. And so I actually was able to finish that one pretty quickly. When I pulled it out, I had the body of the house and the roof done. I had stopped before I had started the stacks, the chimney stacks. And then everything else I had to do. But this is not a huge design, so I was able to finish that up, and I put in my grandfather's initials here, J.E.C., to honor him for his service in World War II. He was in the Navy, and I had seen my friend Becky, who Socks for Mom, her patriotic video. If you haven't seen it, I think it's like a couple of, just maybe 2 videos back in hers. She had finished In Full Glory, and she had, I believe, put her father-in-law initials in to honor his service, and I really liked that idea, and so I kind of copied Becky and put in my grandfather's initials. So I really love this. And it was a quick finish. So now I have a fairly good stack. I'm gonna pack it up. I was waiting to show that on my video before I packed it up and sent to my finisher. Now I have, I believe, maybe 5 or 6 smalls to send off to her to finish for me. I wanna have a couple of these done as flat folds. I can do pillows with the best of them, but I want to have a couple of these as flat folds. And then also sometimes Terry comes up with some, some different ideas of finishing that I wouldn't have thought about. And so I rely on her creativity to, make all of my stitching shine. So anyway, so that's all ready to go. Now that I've shown it, I'll pack it up, send it, and then maybe next time's video, I'll be able to show you what they all look like fully finished. Okay, so yesterday, actually, I'd been working on some of that fill-in and doing the turkey on New World Sampler, and on Friday night I had done that. We had gone to see the movie Oppenheimer Friday night, which was really good. I love that period of history, World War II era, and I obviously knew J. Robert Oppenheimer was considered the father of the atomic bomb, but I had no idea really anything about his life, and I thought it was extremely interesting, and it made me really want to deep dive. But we gotten home from that movie, and I started working on my New World, and then yesterday I was like, oh, I can't do this right now. I want to start something new. I know I've got tons of whips. I should not really want to start anything new. But it was interesting. I was talking to Yvette, who's Yvette Go, last night. We were messaging back and forth, and she was talking about how she and Carol were doing just a whole bunch of starts. And then she said this weekend was the finale and of all her start, and then she's just gonna stitch. So I had told her that I had just started the beautiful Elizabeth Furnace. I've had her kitted for a little while, and I was like, you know what, I'm starting her. So I started her yesterday while I was watching Friday's episode of Outlander. And so I just stitched for just a little over an hour, not too long. But it just made me feel good to start her. And I'll show you just what I did in an hour. Not much. Matter of fact, let me pull my needle back through, because my needle's still in here. I'm stitching Elizabeth on 46 count parchment by Weeks on a Zweigart base. Can you see that? Not much, right? Just have to remember that that's 46 count, so there's teeny tiny stitches. There are quite a few there, but they're teeny tiny. So I'm really happy to have finally started her. I've been watching Yvette and her group, Becky and I think Christy from Crosshatch Quilts and whatever, stitching on this, and every time they would show it, I was like, oh, I have that kitted, and I would love to start it. And finally I was just like, you know what, I'm starting her. I love that grass because it's that patchwork quilt grass at the bottom. So it's not like you have to do just, tons and tons of the same color going back and forth. It's all these little patchwork pieces. I love that. So I'm very excited to have Elizabeth started. Not that I needed another start, but I have them. I own these. They're here. I'm starting them. So that's what I have been stitching on over the last month. Been kind of limited a little bit because in our quest to get through all the boxes after work in the evenings, we've been eating a dinner and then just going right out to the garage or going right down to the unfinished storage section and spending a couple of hours just going through boxes, cleaning out. I'm sure our trash and recycling guys are going to be thrilled that we're now pretty much done with most of that. And we won't be loading up. I mean, it looks like, you know, we're moving out again at the end of the driveway on Friday mornings when we put everything out. But we just were determined to get, you know, that stuff done. So it did seriously cut into my stitching time a little bit. So, okay, real quickly, you've heard me talk about, you know, the goodies that my husband was able to purchase for me when he was doing his assignment out on the East Coast, mostly in Pennsylvania. He did get me some things in Rhode Island, but most of these came from Pennsylvania. Now, some of these samplers, I just unwrapped the last 4, and some of these are really large. I'm gonna do my best to show you. This first one is from 1794, and this is Fanny Rasley, R-A-S-L-E-Y, from 1794, and there is going to be glare, I know that, but this is just plain glass. This has been framed, I'm not sure, it does have a sticker on the back, so I know it's, you know, been framed somewhat recently. It doesn't look like super recently, but anyway, I don't know if you can see this or not. Look at all the bands. Really beautiful. It looks to have been done all in silks. I'm gonna kind of pull it up close so you can kind of see. She's really a big girl. Each band. And then your words at the top. There's all kinds of symbols in this one. These birds are super awesome. There's little birds on these guys. There's little flying birds. There's more birds here on this tree. Same over here, another really cool parrot-like bird. You've got birds all the way across here, same thing. There's birds all the way across in just about every one of the bands, actually. Little lovebirds here, and again here. Just really beautiful stitching. And it says, "Give me, O Lord, thine early grace, nor let my soul complain that the young morning of my days has all been spent in vain." So, now this one has a few problems. But it's mostly in here and here where the linen is actually just disintegrating. So it's gonna have to stay on, you know, on the board when we try to, I don't know if actually I don't even know if I'll have to take it apart. It's so well done and the color is really still very nice. I may not have to take it apart. I may just be able to leave it like it is. So anyway, wanted to show you some of these. Really love that one. And here's another big girl. This is Martha Johnson. She did this at 9 years old in 1840, and it looks like she used wool. Do my best to try to tilt this so that some of the glare is not so bad. It's just gonna be what it is because of the way that the glass that they used is reflective. Gorgeous, gorgeous floral border. In the center here, this is a huge stag. I'll put it up close and do my best. There you can see him. Isn't that a gorgeous stag there in the center? Really, really beautiful. Really like Martha. And these things are heavy. No holes in the linen on this one. But you can tell it was done with all wools. So, really pretty. And this next one is from Miriam Coburn. And it was done in 1809. And this is a Remember Thy Creator. Now, it was recently framed, and actually, I believe it was a self-framing job because you can tell from the wire that they strung across the back, and this was just self-framed. Somebody just stuck it. And maybe even the dealer might have just stuck it in a frame to preserve it and be able to hang it in their booth and sell it. But this is a really beautiful, beautiful sampler as well, especially if you like the blues and greens. We've got some very interesting stitches. Hoping you can kind of see this. In very good condition. Really good condition. So she's a beauty. And the last one is a marking sampler. And across the bottom, it just has LMC. So, and I don't believe there was a year on this one. As you can see, it's a really nice marking sampler. And here, these stitches, these are Algerian eyelets. These are four-sided. This one I'm not sure. I'm gonna have to look at my book of stitches and see if I can identify that stitch. It almost looks like she made something up. I'm not 100% sure. Again, this one looks to be done with silks. So if I can put that, there's a pretty good shot without too much glare. Really, really nice. So good examples of different types of samplers. So anyway, you've heard me, talk about those, and I wanted to show them now that they're unwrapped. This last one, this marking sampler, was actually in a pretty old frame. So it's got a couple little chunks out of it, but I'm gonna try to just keep it in that frame just because I love that old look. The others, we'll just have to take it one by one and see what we're gonna do. So anyway, there's some older samplers that I thought you might enjoy seeing. So let's see what we got next. Actually, last thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna announce my giveaway winners. All right, we had two things we were giving away. This was from Samplers Not Forgotten. I had gotten this kit last year at the Silver Needle. She actually gave us 3 kits, so I've kept 2 and I'm giving away 1. And this is a full kit. You can see has all the goodies to make this needle book. And you were to use the word needle book in your comment if you were interested in this one. And the winner was Deborah Butler, 1953. Congratulations, Deborah. Deborah Butler, 1953. So Deborah, please email me. I've already responded on your comment, so that comment is from me. And just send me your email address. You'll find my email in the drop-down box in any one of my videos. And I just need your physical mailing address so that I can send this to you. Again, congratulations again. Okay, and the next one was I had explained that I had gotten this because of my large fabric purchase at Keepsakes in Cincinnati when I went to StitchCon in June. And I have several journals, so I thought, instead of just hoarding another one, I'm gonna give this away and let someone else be able to use it. And Joyce 3371, Joyce 3371 was the winner of the journal. Again, email me your shipping address and I will get this right out to you. Thank you to everyone who commented and I hope that you'll continue to watch, and as I have future giveaways, you know, comment, and hopefully you'll win something then. Anyway, kind of a cool little book. I just have several, so. Okay, congratulations, Deborah and Joyce. All right, guys. What's going on in the shop? I'll just talk about that for just a quick moment or two. We had a bit of a drought with some fox and rabbit linen. Customs held my last shipment for almost a month. Bren had mailed it out like on June 19th, and I think we ended up getting it somewhere around the 11th or 12th of July. That was a little frustrating. And so people were buying it like they were never gonna find it ever again. So some of the colors literally were sold out within a couple of days. Not to despair if you're looking for something. We already have another shipment en route, and I have already gotten the customs clearance. So this time, I don't think, you know, was sat on for a while. So hopefully that'll be arriving here in the next couple of days, and we'll be replenishing some more of the counts that I had not replenished with that last box. Let's see, so that's good. You know, people are always messaging about when I'm gonna get my fox and rabbit linen in. We've been going back and trying to restock all of fall and Halloween designs and beginning Christmas designs, because people are, I think, beginning to think of their stitching plans for the rest of the year. And so if there's something that you're not seeing, just let us know. We are adding a few designs here and there as the designers drop them. It's been kind of a slow summer as far as new designs, but I think that also maybe some of that has to do with the show that's coming up at the end of August, the virtual show, and a lot of designers are holding probably some designs for that show. So we should be seeing, I would think, some sneak peeks coming out pretty quickly for the virtual needlework market. And if you see something that you want to have, and you don't have somebody already buying for you, or you don't live, near an LNS, give me a message, and we'll be sure to shop for you. So that's all I have really on the shop. I hope everybody's enjoying your summer. We've been on here, I'd say, about 38 minutes now, so I just wanted to make this a quick video, and I hope you've enjoyed what you've seen, and you'll come back. And thank you again, and take care. All right, bye-bye.